Hi, good evening. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And if you're first time listener, first time subscriber, welcome to the channel. For those of you that are existing subscriber, I just want to thank you for being for coming back again to watch my latest uploads and updates on videos on my YouTube channel. Right. Um, Thank you so much for supporting my channel. Thank you so much for the likes and the comments. And I just want to appreciate you all for coming back. Right. In today's episode, just quickly going to be um, talking about something that most of us have really, when it comes to um, investment in Nigeria, something that most of us we tend to overlook. You understand, and it's something that's really is something that's critical, a critical mass of our decision making process in terms of should we do it or not. You understand. This is talking about you going back home to build in Nigeria, you going back home to actually investment in properties in Nigeria. Right. So I'm going to start now. Sorry, it's quite sunny here. I don't know if this is helpful or not. Right. So I'm just really going to talk about something that came up in the course of discussion I had with someone during the weekend. You understand? It's about investing in Nigeria. It's about we actually, people in diaspora actually going back home to build back home. You understand? The question is, what is your rationale for building back home? What's your reason for going back home to build back home in Nigeria, or going back to Africa to build in Africa from other countries in Africa? I'd like you to answer this question as well. You understand? Honestly, I'm interested in knowing what your reasons are for going back to build in your country. You understand? Because for we Nigerians, I think it's mostly something that is cultural, something that is got family culture attachment to the decision-making process to build back home in Nigeria. Right. I'm going to be very, very honest, and I'm going to be very direct with you. One of the reasons why I think most people go back home to build is because of the pressure, because of family pressure. Families, members asking what's happening. You've been away for quite some time now. You need to start doing something back home, X, Y, Z, and so on and so forth. But are you one of those that actually built back home because you succumbed to family pressure? Or are you one of those that actually built back home because you thought it was a good investment for income generation, for retirement purposes, or in terms of generational wealth? You understand? A legacy for your children, that something you want to pass on to your children in terms of generational wealth and so on and so forth. You understand? Please, if you fall in any of these 3 or 4 categories I mentioned, I'd like to hear from you. You understand? I'll definitely like to hear from you. I personally want to share my experience. In 2012 or 2011, 2010, or thereabout, I got a phone call from one of my brothers, and this was something that really touched me when he said, someone they came across someone, there's something happened because of discussion. He said, what's happening? He's been away for quite some time now. Why is he not coming home to do X, Y, Z? And I said, well, what is this person's business? Why is he asking you? You understand? Well, again, I actually succumbed to pressure from my brother. You understand? And that's okay. We kickstarted the process, and my initial plan was to buy land for land banking purposes and sell them later on. You understand? I wasn't really keen on investing, building up, or whatever you decide to call it. You understand? So I did. I succumbed to that pressure. Again, mine was family pressure. Hand to heart, it was family pressure. I succumbed to family pressure. I started building back home, and I had my first 3 flats back then. And went on to build other properties as well. But the question is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? I've spent so much in putting up those structures. Am I really getting something in return that's commensurate with what I've put in? The answer is no. Which go back to one of the questions another good friend of mine asked me some years back, because he's someone that's deeply rooted in the UK. Is when it comes to investing back home in Nigeria, he said, "No, listen, I'm not going home." He said, "It's not going home." I said, "Come on, bro, what's up?" He said, "It's not going home. He's never going to go home." And it's still the case today. For him, it's still the case today. He's never been home to say he wants to go and invest. No, he's not. You understand? Because he asked me some questions which I couldn't really answer them. He said to me, the money you're spending right now in building those structures, are you going to get those money? Are you going to get that money back? I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You spent XYZ million erecting those structures. When are you going to get the money back? How many years do you think it's going to take you to get the money back?" I was a bit like, that's a very good question. I never really thought about that, because I jumped into it blindly because of family pressure. You understand? That was it for me. Then again, he asked a second question: your children, will they ever go back to Nigeria, to settle in Nigeria? This was a question, again, that never really came across my mind, because I'm a first generation immigrant. I am a first generation immigrant. My children got children from what I see and from what I've seen from people that have been here before me, that have got grown-up children, and I say is something that we need to be worried about. Our children, are they ever going to go back home to settle? No. When we're old and gone, will they go back to settle? No. So what happened to those properties? What happened to the investment? So why invest in a place when you know you not going to settle? You probably visiting, going and coming. You probably at the end of your day, because your children are based here, live here in your retirement with your children, probably for safer reasons, because of the insecurity in Nigeria, because of the instability, because of the economic mess that's happening over there. You got a string and a dozens of reasons not to go back to Nigeria, not to want to go back to Nigeria. You understand? And it got me thinking, you understand, is it really worth investing in Nigeria? Is it really something that we really want to do? Is this something that you really want to put your money in if your children are never going to go back? You understand? So this got me thinking. Couple of the challenges after building what I built over there, I got tenants in to the first 3 flats I built, them subsequent buildings I erected, I got tenants in. Then here come the challenges. The rental income I was hoping to get wasn't forthcoming as I expected, as like I anticipated. You understand? Because I got tenants in, got a lawyer to manage it. I had some challenges with the tenants. First year gone, pay up the second year, they struggled to pay. 3-4 months into the new year, rent still hadn't been paid. You understand? I had to give my first quick notice, which didn't really go down well with my lawyer that was in charge of the property, managing property. Because for me, it seems he was on the side of my tenant rather than on my side, you understand? Which was really shocking for me, because I was actually expecting this guy to stand up for me. I thought he was watching my back, but obviously he was actually on the side of my tenants. He sided with my tenants, which was really shocking. However, I gave my first quick notice to the tenants, and they moved out. The couple moved out, the husband and wife, so they moved out. Obviously, they left a string of repairs for me to do. I look back now, I ask myself, is this really worth it? Then came the second tenant that left without informing me or informing the lawyer that they were leaving after owing 3 months. 3 months into the new year, they hadn't paid their rent. They promised they were going to pay, then they moved out. So the question is again, like the friend asked me a couple of years ago, is it worth it? If you're thinking of investing back home in Nigeria, please share with me. Or if you invested back home in Nigeria, your rental or wherever it is going well, please share with me. I'd like you to share the secret with me. I'd like to share how you're managing your properties back home with me. I'd like to know. Please, I'd like to learn from you, because for me, it's still a learning curve. It's something I'm still trying to come in terms with because of the losses I have made. You understand? Then challenges like managing your property back home. How do you manage your property back home effectively? I would like you to share this with me as well, because since I was talking to a friend last weekend, and I was like, sorry, how is he's got he's got 4 flats in Lagos, 3 bedroom each. And I said, so how is it going? I remember about 2-3 years ago, he erected the structure for rental purposes and so on and so forth. The response he gave to me wasn't quite what I was expecting. He sounded a bit sad on the phone, and I said, come on, what's happening to your property back home in Nigeria? And he said to me, listen, I really don't want to talk about it, but honestly, I've had those tenants to move on, to leave. I said, you asked your 4 tenants to move on. So what's happening with the property? Are you trying to sell it? He said, no, I'm not going to sell it. And I said, so why did you ask him? He said, well, the challenges, the stress, his mental health. It went on and on and on and on and on. You understand? Then he got to a point, he said to me, listen, we are not getting any younger. We're not getting any younger. You understand? He said, we now at this stage where our health is more important than running around chasing money, running around looking for extras here and there. Our children are grown up. You understand? And he said to me, no, I don't need that stress. I don't need that stress. All I want right now is my peace. That actually made a lot of sense to me, because we've come to the age where we don't need to give ourselves this stress coming from properties that you meant to be an insurance for your old age, now becoming something that becoming your source of stress, your source of mental stress, your source of worry, your lack of peace. I think the objective is actually being defeated. Purpose has actually been defeated. Those properties are meant to be like an insurance. Those properties are meant to be like your security, your retirement benefit, your something you rely on for your old age. But unfortunately, it's not. So please, if this is your experience, please feel free to share with me. I'd like to know what your experience are. I'd like to know what you're doing about this. And if you've had a very nasty experience, please feel free to share with me. You understand? I'd like to know how you're coping. I'd like to know what you're doing to get out of that experience, your experience. I'd like to know what you're doing to bounce back. Again, you understand? That's something I'd like you to share with me, please. You understand? Because we're all here to learn from one another. That's the purpose of sharing this video. That's the purpose of sharing this experience. You understand? So, at this point, I'd like to pause and probably speak to you in my next video. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the comment. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for the followership. Please do not leave without liking this video. Please do not leave without leaving me a comment. Share your experience. Thank you so much. Wow.
In the stillness of the night, under the moonlight so bright, our hearts are joined.